it's Higby and welcome back to another story time. We are reading Mr. Dog and the Rabbit Habit by Ben Fogle, and this video is for chapter 9. And this chapter is called Rabbit Treasure. Desperately, Mr. Dog lunged forward with the sausages. Then he darted through Hussein's legs before the net could entangle him. He ran out into the courtyard, galloping like a racehorse, leading straight for the crate Hussein had placed over the hole. At the last possible second, he veered away and struck the crate with his shoulder. The jolt sent pain searing through Mr. Dog's side, but while the impact was enough to shift the crate sideways a little, it wasn't enough to uncover the hole. "What on earth has gotten into that box?" Mr. Dog groaned, snaffling one of the sausages for strength. He saw that Hussein was coming for him again, with a face like thunder. This time, Mr. Dog darted behind him and circled him, trailing the string of sausages from his mouth. As Hussein tried to change direction, his legs tangled in the sausage lasso, and he tumbled against the crate, knocking it over. And there's Mr. Dog. Mr. Dog abandoned the sausages and hurried away back to the lean-to, panting wildly, making for the still open door. He saw that the space inside was filled with large hutches, one on top of another, and each containing 4 or 5 rabbits. Socks had hopped up onto a bag of grain to reach the second-floor hutch, and Shoe, Flip-Flop and Sneaker were scrabbling up to join him to get closer to Mother Rabbit. Mr. Dog's heart soared with happiness. There she was, pressed up against the bars of her hutch, while 3 other rabbits stuck inside with her watched on in puzzlement. "My bunnies!" cried Mother Rabbit. "All 3 of you!" "And Socks!" said Shoe, jumping up and down. "Yes, don't forget him!" squeaked Flip-Flop, and Sneaker nodded. "Mr. Dog!" Mother's eyes lit up still further. "Oh, thank you, you kept your word and you brought us back together." Very nearly, Mr. Dog could see there was no way the bunnies could get into their mother's hutch. "Allow me to finish the job." He jumped nimbly onto the sack of grain and forced his head against the lid of the rabbit hutch, opening it a little way. "Sneaker, Shoe, Flip-Flop, use me as a ladder and squeeze inside." "Yay!" squeaked the little bunnies, scampering up the scraggy mutt mountain and then bundling through the open lid. All 3 landed safely in the thick sawdust behind their mother, and within moments started to suckle contentedly. "Just keep them out of sight as best you can," Mr. Dog advised her. "You'll be all right. That goes for all of you rabbits. You'll be taken to live safely in a national park. It's a fresh start. Enjoy it." "Thank you," said Mother Rabbit with a sweet and satisfied smile. Socks started to climb up Mr. Dog, eager to squeeze into the hutch himself, but Mr. Dog jumped back down from the sack with Socks clinging to his back. "Sorry, Socks." Mr. Dog lay down so the rabbit could hop off. "The wildlife is not the life for you." "But..." Socks jumped down, a quivering bundle of fur. "But what will become of me, all alone?" "I have one more idea," Mr. Dog told him, "but we'll have to move fast." "Hussein!" Joe, Kitty's owner, was pointing to the lean-to. "That dog! He's over here! Hussein!" She hurried away to fetch him. "Come on," Mr. Dog told Socks. "One last mad rush, and be careful not to be seen. Not yet, anyway." Slipping away back to the cover of the hanging tarpaulin, Mr. Dog and Socks watched as both Hussein and Joe entered the lean-to. They then ran and hopped together back to the courtyard, where Hussein's unfortunate tumble had pushed the crate away from the hole. "This is where we came in," said Mr. Dog, "and it's where I'll go out." Socks squeaked. "What about me?" Mr. Dog didn't answer. He just dived into the hole, wriggled back under the fence and into the field. Socks gasped. Had he really been abandoned? But seconds later, Mr. Dog returned with his mouth full. "Here," He opened his jaws, and 6 of the old gold coins fell out, pinging over the muddy floor of the courtyard. You're going to buy your bed and board with this haul of ancient money. What? Socks stared. You're crazy. You're rich, Mr. Dog retorted. Archaeologists love old coins, and Joe clearly loves animals too. If we put you both together, it'll cause quite a stir. How many rabbits are in the habit of finding coins? None, except for you. People will want to know where you came from. Who's looking after you? Socks's eyes widened. I might find my owner again. Or you might find a brand new owner, Mr. Dog suggested. One who will look after you properly. Socks looked down at the coins and placed a paw on them. What a fantastic plan. Thank you, Mr. Dog. You're brilliant. Quite brilliant, Mr. Dog agreed cheerily. Then he heard footsteps hurrying from the direction of the lean-to. Hussan and Joe were coming to the courtyard. I'd better clear off, he said, and leave you to your big moment. Socks smiled and nodded. But what about the other poor rabbits out there? If the exterminator is coming for them? I'll think of something, don't you worry. Mr. Dog backed up into the tunnel. I'm called Mr. Dog, remember? The Mr. is short for he's never missed a thing, probably. With that, he wriggled away through the muddy tunnel and into the freedom of the field beyond, just as Hussan and Joe burst into view. Socks, sitting amid the money, looked up at the humans innocently, twitching his nose in a most appealing fashion. Were you looking for something? He squeaked. They couldn't understand him, of course, but they could clearly see that the gold coins were very old and very rare and very valuable. Hussan fell to his knees in shock and started to gather them, while Joe picked up Socks. Well, you're a beautiful boy, aren't you? She said. What a morning for mysteries. Where on earth did you come from with a treasure hoard like this? Well, there was this dog, see, Socks began. Joe could never know what he was saying, but it was a story Socks intended to say out loud as often as possible. A story about a brave, scraggy mutt with a good heart and a marvellous mind, who ran headlong into adventure, helping others along the way. And that is the end of chapter 9. We have only got one more chapter left in this story, I'm afraid. So make sure you come back on Monday to hear the final chapter of Miss Dog and the Rabbit Habit. And also, I will be putting out a vote soon so that you can vote for our next story that you'd like to hear me read. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye.